Welcome to the Warrior Kings podcast. This is the best patriotic podcast in the world. Here we talk matters political and patriotic. And I'm yours truly, the Google president. I have my patriot, intelligent brother, Warrior King brother here, Comrade S.A. Hammond. I have my brother here to talk about matters bedeviling our mother Ghana and Africa at large. And there's a lot happening. So, yeah, so the first on our list is the Faithful Eight, the eight public officials who died in the tragic accident on the 6th of August have been laid to rest ceremonially by the state. It was done beautifully. They were honored, and even the officers involved were actually decorated. So they've been laid to rest. The government have promised to set up a fund for the families of the tragic eight or faithful eight. But the government promises that they wouldn't let the death of the eight government officials go in vain, in that they were fighting the pertinent and life-threatening danger of illegal mining or Galamsey, that they were on a course of fighting for sustainable mining in our country. So the government promises to declare state of emergency on Galamsey or illegal mining. What we've been preaching and begging and crying for, that Galamsey would be declared a state emergency, that the government would deal with it as they should. But now the government promises that they wouldn't let the death of the faithful eight go in vain. So they've actually equipped the task force, Galamsey task force, to deal with the Galamsey, and in that direction we've seen some progress. But the Galamseyers also are prepared to face up with the task force, in the sense that recently in the Ashanti region, a town called Bunteso, the residents were digging, selling their cocoa lands, cocoa farms for gold, illegal mining. They don't want the cash crop anymore. They want the gold. So they are selling their farms, and people are digging it anywhere, excavators and chanfans. And the task force went there, and the people opened fire on them, fighting openly. And turns out that the government official called the assemblyman was the one mobilizing the people against the task force, that they wouldn't let them transport the excavators and equipment they use for the mining away from the town of Bunteso. So it has always proven the point that what we've been saying, that the perpetrators, the original kingpins of the illegal mining, is the politicians themselves. They have the funds and resources and wherewithal to acquire excavators and chanfans and all. And this has come to light. You see?
Pretty much. I mean, we've been circling around this same issue, and from day one, we have made our point that it is the lack of political will, the zero political commitment to nip in the back this dreadful, distasteful act of destroying our very existence. Because what this Fourth Republic has actually done is to oversee an unprecedented destruction of our water bodies.
Yes.
Which is the very source of our life. Because
yes.
I mean, this is basics. You
yes.
don't need anything
yes.
for you to understand that.
This
water
is only close to 9 years ago.
I mean, even if it's 10, 12 years it is the same Fourth Republic.
Yeah.
But not to jump straight into the shenanigans of the Fourth Republic, which if you don't control yourself, sometimes you might go overboard. I want to, again, the last time we said it, and again, we want to reiterate that the Royal King podcast, we stand with the families of the bereaved aides, and we commiserate with them with their pain, because for loved ones to go in such a manner is nothing but tragic, and the trauma that will linger on with the families for time immemorial cannot be healed by anything except the Almighty. So, I mean, we commiserate with them, the family, and one, this thing must not be the usual. At least there must be a report. At least we have been told that investigations are being ongoing.
Yes, investigations. The remains have been sent to South Africa to
do DNA testing,
ascertain DNA.
Exactly.
The black box
Properly buried. They have found a black box.
We don't have black box experts here, so we will need foreign experts to decode the black box and know what happened. So,
which is all doable,
Yeah.
which is all ascertainable.
Yeah.
I mean, Ghana, as a sovereign state, we have good international relations, and therefore, if we have to do business with other states, other sovereign states, we can do it. So, one, the states must actually know what's happened. You understand? Because this is a national security issue. This is a state issue, and it could be any of us.
yeah, it is a security signal.
You understand?
Yeah.
The top brass of our security. And not just because of the personality, but because of the idea that our airspace and our let me say, for want of a better word, our machines that we have are not up to modern structured labels. You understand what I mean?
Like modern, not up to modern standards,
Exactly.
you would say.
So-
yes, that on that point, there are military
Mm-hmm.
equipment and planes in other countries they've been using in more than 40 years. But
Okay.
for me, in my research, I think the problem is maintenance culture.
Which is a big problem.
You know, we know our military. Let's not demean the work of the soldiers involved in the military. And the plane is a military plane, right? It means there are men who are detailed to it every day to work on it. But let's ask ourselves, if a rotor of the helicopter need to be tightened, it would need a special wrench. Wrench in Ghana here would say spanner. We'll need a special spanner to do that. It wouldn't be any ordinary. And if they don't get that, they would just do knockoff job. Not that they don't want to do a good job, but the implements to do a good job here in the country. This cut across all government institutions.
Exactly. So you see, that was my point. That as a nation, we should look beyond all this knee-jerk mumbo-jumbo reactions and get into the core issues, so that we put ourselves in a position whereby such things happening will be reduced. I mean, accidents can happen.
Or
anytime.
cannot happen at all.
Accidents can happen anytime. So then you cannot have 100% proof of security or safety. But then again, such things are attainable, giving them up-to-date infrastructure, equipment, tools, materials to work with. They are attainable. It's not beyond the state. They make it look like these things are beyond the state's budget, whilst consistently and constantly spending on other agendas that at the end of the day, it becomes a deadlock, frivolous, a conduit for people to, as and where, siphon state funds. I mean, we must put things in structure. Like you
Yeah.
said, it cuts across all the state institutions. Just recently, we sat on the same show. We talked about how the National Fire Service do not have up-to-date fire tending equipment that they have major issues and they are saying it. It's not like they are not saying it. I've seen one or two of their PRs moving around from stations to stations talking about it, but the attention is not much there.
Until a disaster happens.
Until a disaster,
they'll give beautiful rhetorical speeches. See, rhetorical speeches they will give at the burial or funeral or at the disaster place. You know, that's what they do.
The penchant of the Fourth Republic to not actually solve the problem, but then just frolic around it and still leave the problem is mind-boggling, because these things could be any of us, okay? And I feel like they are at ease because the state's rage, the rage of the people, the momentum of the people are not on this thing that let's have these things, let's get these things right. I don't know if you're getting my point. If the people are consistently hammering on this thing that look, we will not deal with this thing again.
So for me, I want us to deal with the promise that they wouldn't let the death of the
Galamsey issue
go in vain.
Okay, so coming back to the Galamsey issue.
Because we gotta.
I will remind you of another tragic incident. I will remind you of Major Mahama. I will remind you of how the same rhetoric was made. And at the end of the day, the issue has escalated. The underlying principles has not changed. That this Galamsey is deeper than what we see. They are kingpins, they are interest, people who are making racks of money.
Yes, and not ordinary people like that.
Influential
people of power.
Influential people of power, people in the political class.
Yeah, people who have the means to stop it.
People who are taxed by the Constitution of the Republic to protect our territorial integrity, the security of the state.
They use that to finance politics.
These same people who are mandated to make sure that these actions do not go unpunished and unchecked are the very same people who are cutting deals and sitting on tables with the very people destroying our water bodies. For crying out loud, the Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo Bawumia government had a policy of whenever they arrest Chinese citizens, or let's say any citizen of any nation who is not Ghanaian and black, their go-to policy was to deport the person, not to try the person according to our law, which the person has clearly offended, but to be deported to his or her nation. For what? To be celebrated? Now the Danko government did it. The Mahama Jen Nana Opoku-Agyeman government is also doing the same policy.
Yes.
Honorable Mutala was touting this policy. So you see, it comes back to the money. Follow the money.
That's what they use to finance their politics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Follow the money. Why is it that with all the state machinery, it has now become that the state has failed in fighting this particular issue? And you know, you were saying the Galamseyers did not agree for the police to...
They're emboldened with weapons.
Why are they emboldened? Why? There are a lot of reasons. The people backing them is the first pillar.
Yes.
The people backing them, so that if today you seize their 15 excavators, by next week they have another 15 excavators.
The opinion makers. In fact, the
Look.
the member, the assemblyman of the area was the one involved mobilizing people to fight and shoot against the task force.
As of now, have you heard any arrest that he has been arrested?
No.
Come on.
No.
Come on. Look. It's about time we face this issue head on, and I think that Ghanaians should be bold enough and face this head on. Your favorite political parties, the kingpins and the leadership, they are encouraging and benefiting from this menace.
Yeah.
That in the nearest future is going to destroy all of us.
Yes.
You see, the problem is that what they are creating, they have seen a distraction and they have vowed that they don't care and that this land can be destroyed. And at the end of the day, for them, they will plant their seeds and their generations maybe in another land.
They can relocate.
Easily,
Yes.
which they have proven to us.
That's an illusion.
That's an illusion.
Yes, there's
but,
karma.
But they are on it. And for us, we must look at the situation holistically and say, look, it will take a very drastic change in the political arena of Ghana.
Yes.
The political landscape.
But me Judy said MPP ni NDC the omuntimi jai.
Asɛm no na yɛreka no. Asɛm no na yɛreka no sɛ APP ne NDC no.
And no one show ma
ɛna ɛma ɔmo nyɛ sika.
Amanyosam no kana.
ɛna ɔmo de amanyosam.
Yeah, titi ɔma we ehu ɔmo before ɔmo bedi ɔmo ba aban mu yɛ hwɛ ɔmo ɛnɛ uhu ɔmo.
Look, I want to ask this question.
You can see.
I want to ask this question. So the gold board, right? The gold board. Where are they buying their golds? Like, where are they buying it from? Who are they buying them from?
From the gold diggers.
From the gold dealers. So they know where the gold dealers get the gold. It's from the same Galamsey pits. Where are they getting it? They know. It is from the same Galamsey. Where are they buying? Where are they buying responsible mine gold from? And they should not come and tell us that because they have issued a so-called certificate, it makes it. No, we have seen it before. We have seen in the Eshwan and Adodankwa government before that people were now saying that, oh, but I have a license, whilst clearly you could see that the person is doing unethical mining.
Yes, there's a legal instrument made for that.
But they have had a legal instrument to back the illegality. Now, you must ask yourself this question. Look, the Parliament of Ghana are still there, right? They are semi-aggressive, not aggressive about this issue, as and when they know they can score some political points, they champion it. But they start down and pass that law. We must hold our legal representatives to some check and accountability. That on what thinking, on what ideology, on what background did they come to the consensus that we should mine in our forests, whilst they know that the tributes and the channels of the rivers, they pass through our sacred forest. They know. So if you tell somebody to mine in the forest and the water is there, the person does not mind. The water is just another product.
Some are blocking streams.
They block the
streams and rivers.
Do you know the effort to
mine gold,
to block these things? It's not a day's job. They know.
Some have created slums and ghettos,
cities
deep in the forest.
Cities with millions and millions of people. They know what is actually going on. Probably they should just come out and tell us that they are incompetent and they cannot deal with this issue because of ABCD, but they will not.
They shouldn't. If we wait for them to tell us that, it means we can't read between the lines.
That's what we have said.
That's the reason why we're here, to make Ghanaians, let them be aware that there are some people who can read between the lines. Not all the gimmicks and the hypes and the rhetoric that consult with everybody. And those people who can read between the lines will make it public for those who can't, to know what is going on. That is the purpose why we're here, you see. And it's up to us, to the Ghanaian citizens and residents, that can stop the Galamsey. I think the politicians cannot. And if politicians can confuse a whole town of residents to fight against an illegal system, an existential threat, even to them, then there's a big problem.
Of course, the problem is that for them, they can't do it because Their hands are tied. Their hands are tied to the money. They can't do anything about it. So if Ghanaians actually want to solve the Galamsey issue, the first thing is to actually change the political landscape of Ghana. The Fourth Republic political actors must be swept away. There must be an election and the people must say that we are voting on this issue and we don't like these people. These people have professed that they can do A, B. These people must go. Because I'm telling you, they will not go against the people who are giving them finances to run their politics. Come on. For crying out loud. Why would you say that somebody has committed a crime in your country and your best move is to deport the person?
Yes, client state.
You're a client state. You see? So if Ghanaians really want to solve this issue, look, vote them out. They have proven to you, that they will not and they cannot stop this. They will not stop it. It's like saying that they should fight themselves.
And until the vote comes,
Of course,
we must be vocal and
have to vote them out.
militant against this existential threat. We don't need Galamsey here. People have profited a lot and enough for it to stop now. And government, President Mahama, we pray you live up to your vow that you wouldn't let the fateful 8th tragic death be in vain. So we're looking up to you to do, and the task force. I wish them well. I wish them well that they will do their good job to stop illegal mining in Galamsey. It is not good for the country. It's when we do a prognosis, it's not good for the country. It doesn't look good for the future of the country. So we wish you a well to do a good job for Mother Ghana. But until another story, right?